The Supreme Court right now is looking at the president's travel ban, and it looks like the conservatives just might win out on this. To American Islamic Forum for Democracy founder Zuhdi Jasser. Zuhdi, two issues to discuss with you, and thank you for taking the time. At the border and what the president faces here. I know it's not a Muslim issue, so if you'll just indulge me here. He has been planning on this and addressing this by the troops he's committed to be on the border, presumably to counter this. This could get dicey, couldn't it?
Absolutely, and I think what we need to learn from all of these examples, be it at the border, be it at the travel ban hearing at the Supreme Court, is are we going to allow our commander-in-chief his constitutional right to protect our country? So it's less about the conservatives siding with President Trump, but siding with the Constitution. And I think finally we're seeing the court is actually you see how seriously they're taking by the fact that they gave the plaintiff a few extra minutes today. They've allowed oral arguments to be displayed already, available on the same day, which is has been many years since they've done that, really telegraphing how important this case is. And I think it's important because do we give folks coming in the same rights we give our citizens, or do we allow our commander-in-chief the constitutional right to keep us secure from ideologies? 6 countries does not make the 56 Muslim-majority countries a faith ban, but rather an ideological ban to countries that are a threat. And that's what we need to learn from this case and the president's ability to keep us safe.
You know, Zuhdi, the president's lawyers apparently in the Supreme Court argument arguing this is not a Muslim ban, this is a travel ban, targeting certain groups from specific countries. That list whittled down a little bit, but that might have been the sweet spot for them and overcome some doubts from even conservative members. If indeed the court rules in the administration's favor, then what?
Well, I hope the president will stay the course, because this is the first salvo in a long, I think, process of returning us to what we did in the Cold War, which was vet against ideologies, be they theopolitical ideologies like the Muslim Brotherhood. We see now hopefully Secretary of State Pompeo, John Bolton, folks in place now that really want to open up a discussion about the need to declare the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood a terror organization. And if we're going to do that, we need to start vetting globally against jihadists. We haven't even begun to do that when the left has politicized the ability of the president to protect us against theopolitical jihadism, which is not about being anti-Islam or anti-Muslim. It's about being anti-Islamist. And we haven't even begun the steps of that process where the identity left has completely falsified the argument into calling it a Muslim ban. Now they're saying 2.0, 3.0. It's nonsense. They're holding the president accountable to rhetoric he had in the campaign versus looking exactly what he's doing in policy as a president.
But I could see the president emboldened by a decision in his favor here. Some of his critics would argue that he's going to jump on that as a justification for a tighter Muslim-only ban. You've heard that all before. What do you think?
Well, we can't let fear-mongering from anyone realize that conservatives will hold our president accountable to our Constitution. So we can't say, well, because he might do X, Y, and Z. I hope he becomes more firm in his opposition to Islamist immigration. We should not be welcoming folks that have a theocratic lens of viewing the world into a secular liberal democracy. So I hope he feels more confident in doing that. But yet I hope he doesn't then start talking again about a Muslim ban or Islam, etc., but rather Islamism and jihadism.
Yeah, I think they ultimately were settled on travel restrictions. I think we'll see where that'll go. But Zuhdi Jasser, thank you very much.